Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome to Session 3 of Star Trek Kasumi. I'm ELH, the Game Master, and joining me are a lovely group of individuals. But just a few quick details for those of you that might be new or coming in, this is your first stream with me. So we are playing Star Trek Adventures, the role-playing system from Modiphius Entertainment. It's a 2D20 system, and honestly, it's good Trek. It is one of the best role-playing experiences I've had in a very long time. Would recommend. The other thing you should know is that we are playing a Lost Era game, meaning that we are sort of in that gray area between TOS movies and TNG, specifically in the year 2338. But if you're confused or you want to get the previous VODs, exclamation mark Kasumi in Twitch chat. The bot will give you the links and everything you need there. But that's enough for me. Let's hear from the players, starting with Mr. Hex.
Hello, I'm Professor Hex, and I play the captain of the Kasumi, Captain Giasakaya.
Alex, you're up next.
Hi everyone, my name is Alex. I am playing Lieutenant Commander Taral, the ship's tactical officer, and yeah, that's it.
Lovecraft.
Hello everyone, my name is Matthew. I play the civilian scientist, Dr. Talia Sharev, and Enar.
And certainly last but not least, Mr. Peter.
Hey everyone, I'm Peter. I play the Denobulan chief of the boat, Nabak.
Very nice. And we're going to actually jump straight into the mission this time. I know usually we do a opening scene between all the players, but we only have 2 hours tonight, so we're going to try and make the most of it of what we can. But we still have an opening log from Mr. Nabak, so if you would take it away.
Can we just do a quick poll to see how many people in chat remember the thong song?
Oh
this
my
is
God.
really important
No,
to me.
No, don't you do this on stream, Hex. No. Bad.
I just need like a 1 or a 0 or a yay or a nay if you remember the thong song from 1999.
Tell you what, I'll set up a poll while the opening log is being read.
Thank you. Very good.
There you go. Revan's friend, or Revan's friend remembers the thong song. All right, there you go.
Exactly. It exists.
Yeah, Barely Informed's got it too. There you go. Okay, there you go. It existed.
I'm vindicated. Vindicated.
There's a story to that, which I'll tell later, but let's get the opening log going.
Cobb's log, stardate 15364.1. Chief Nabak recording. After a somewhat dramatic visit to H3M9, so impersonal catalog names, I think I'll call it, Edda. Yes, I like that. Maybe I'll propose the name to Starfleet. Anyway, after our crash and subsequent escape from Edda, we've cataloged the planet for scientific follow-up. While this is fairly typical for Starfleet exploration missions, I would have quite enjoyed some more time down there, as most of my experience planetside dealt with repairing the shuttle, trying not to get eaten by angry Salats, and starting forest fires. Perhaps we'll have a little more time to savor the experience of a new world at our next stop. While on the planet, we rescued a Vulcan, Mi-4, from a derelict Vulcan ship that had been there for around 300 years. Imagine being alone on a world for that long. While we Denobulans are long-lived, I'm sure it would be quite taxing on our social nature. I do not envy him that experience. Since at this point we have been unable to deliver Mr. Mi-4 to proper medical facilities, the Kasumi's counselor, Dr. Davi, has taken him on in addition to her normal duties. On a more personal note, I am somewhat perplexed at Dr. Sharev's standoffishness. While I can understand it being a bit unsettling to be one of the few civilians aboard a Starfleet vessel, I am unsure where the underlying dismissiveness of Starfleet as a military comes from. Certainly, Starfleet has had a military function in the past, indeed it continues to do so for practical reasons. But defense is only one of the purposes of Starfleet, and I would argue not a primary one. So I wonder where this dislike stems from. Perhaps something to explore. Delicately, of course. I nearly forgot why I started this log in the first place. The Kasumi is currently en route to a currently nameless Class JH planet. While the planet itself may not be of much note, as it is basically a hot ball of gas in space, sensors have indicated the presence of a massive metallic structure encircling the planet. All attempts at hails and further refinement of the admittedly querulous sensors have not met with any success. The best reading we have been able to get is a heavily enhanced visual image of what appears to be a skyhook. Now, why there would be a giant rotating metal beam to bring things from space to the deep atmosphere, vice versa, or even to hurl things into the depths of the solar system is unclear. Perhaps there is a sapient society living in the depths of the planet. If so, I think it would be rather exciting to meet a species that lives in a highly pressurized atmosphere. Well, I suppose I'd best return to my side note to engineering. Apparently, there is a somewhat urgent matter on Deck 5. The matter reclamators in the lavatories in C-section are malfunctioning. And log.
Very nice. You may have one momentum for that opening log, and for mentioning the almost required scatological joke towards the end. I feel like that's just going to be Kasumi's thing, that every opening log needs toilet humor. Anyways, we're going to now cut to the bridge, where all of you are... Oh, God, my voice is cracking. This is going to be a good stream. You all are currently at your stations, as you are more or less watching on the view screen as the system comes into view as you drop out of warp. Now, as you do drop out of warp, I would say almost immediately, just to get you guys some momentum, Dr. Shrev, or really anybody who would care to do the role, if I could get a reason science assisted by the ship's sensors science, please.
Yeah, that would probably be a science officer role, if that's all right with everyone.
Yeah. I'll get the ship.
And yeah, difficulty 0 on this, so free momentum overall. All right, there's already one. Ooh, interesting. A complication already. That's a good way to start. Good way to start. So by my count, that means you have cap momentum at 6, but you also have 1 floating momentum. So, Dr. Shrev, everything that you're going to get on the sensor scan is contained within the system containing the skyhook. However, the complication is going to be that despite your best sort of sensor foo, you aren't getting anything concrete from the skyhook itself. I mean, you can visually confirm it's there, but you're not getting any sensor pingbacks.
Well, Captain, I've completed initial sensor scans of the system. The worlds themselves seem generally unremarkable. There are 6 planets, 2 Y-class, or I believe as humans call them demon-class planets, 2 unremarkable balls of dirt, D-class, and the JH class, around which the skyhook is orbiting. Unfortunately, I can't get any scans of its interior. It might be due to the presence of what appears to be dilithium particulate matter scattered throughout the system, in a almost ring around the sun.
Also interesting to note, Captain, as I also read these scans, the scan is actually pinging something in the database. The planet has a name already. Apparently it's being called Purgatory, even though there is no record of it being scanned or observed by the Federation.
Oh, so perhaps this is another Federation or Starfleet intelligence matter, just like, what was it, Prot? Secret databases or something to that effect?
Don't think it would be that, but I guess we can't rule it out. But if it was secret, it wouldn't be popping up.
I don't believe there's any need to speculate at this time, although I do wonder why exactly they chose Purgatory as the name. It has certain connotations, it does, and not necessarily pleasant ones. Can we safely get closer to the skyhook formation?
From what it appears to me, there doesn't seem to be any immediate danger in getting close.
Well, if our sensors are not giving us the kind of completeness and fidelity of information we're looking for, then I suggest we do it the old-fashioned way and get our eyeballs as close as we can.
GM, would I be able to use my free question as a science officer?
You certainly could. Yeah, what you got for me?
Um, any questions that anyone else wants to ask regarding the dilithium particulate matter that's been scattered about the system? I have a few that could come up, but Alex?
I have one relating to the skyhook itself. Are we able to determine its range of how far out it can grab something so we don't accidentally fly too close?
Ah, a very interesting question indeed. So, what I will give you as your free question here, and remember, you have one floating momentum, which you probably want to spend on more questions. The skyhook itself is over 300, or not 300, 30,000 kilometers, which means that it is roughly, I'm trying to remember the specs of an ambassador. If an ambassador is roughly 400, 500 meters, it's much, 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 much larger than you all. Also, real quick, we have an incoming raid from Casual Campbell. Well, thank you. Hello, hello, raiders. Hello, hello. We're playing Star Trek Adventures right now, and I'll do my best to interact with chat as everybody else is role-playing. Anyways, you may carry on.
Well, are we going to move this boat, if you will, closer, or is that ill-advised?
Oh, and this is Kanath speaking. Kanath goes, of course. Sorry, I'm just a little bit nervous about the fact that I'm not able to get concrete sensor data to navigate. Sorry, sir. I'll do my best.
I trust in your judgment, Lieutenant, to fly blind, as it were. As long as we have our view screen on and working appropriately, you'll have to do it like the old Air Force pilots did.
Actually, Captain, if I may, I might be able to use the particulate matter within the system, the dilithium trace residue, to map out a kind of subspace current for the entire system that would enable us to simplify any navigational tasks.
That's an excellent idea, Doctor. Make it happen.
Very good. And what I'm intend to do in a mechanical sense there, Mike, perhaps,
Chart
is
hazard.
to spend... to spend 2 momentum to create an advantage to lower the difficulty of any tasks involving navigating the system by 1.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Go for it. Okay. All right. So what that's going to mean, and I'm going to let you guys do the honors here, Kanath is going to be rolling a control or a daring plus con, and they will be assisted by the ship's sensors and con. The difficulty was a 3, but with that new advantage, it's now only a 2.
Got the ship.
No help from the ship, unfortunately.
Of course not.
Yeah, you know. What has the ship done for us recently?
Temperamental ship.
I don't know who's rolling for Kanath.
I volunteer Alex. Let's get Alex in this rolling thing.
All right, 1 moment.
Again, it's a daring or a control plus con.
Would you like to spend a momentum on that?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and spend 1 point for that.
All right, rolling 3 dice. Survey says... There you go, 4 successes, which means you get back your 2 momentum that you just spent. So
Very
yeah,
good.
Kanath almost... I mean, her because again, Kanath is a projected hologram coming from a basically hummingbird-sized alien. But even though it doesn't really mean anything, the holographic projection closes its eyes, and it's almost like Kanath is feeling or otherwise navigating by a certain sense that none of you are certainly privy to. However, the effect is more than noticeable. Not only does the ship masterfully fly between the various planets, the scant dilithium residue that circles the star, but Kanath brings you within spitting distance of the skyhook. And it is at this point that I can give you all the access to another handout. Should be Purgatory Skyhook Details. And there's a lot there, so feel free to take your time reading it. But that is all the information you will get with your visual sensors, as well as now that you're close enough to, well, scan through what's there, you will get all of that information. So take your time, read through it. I know it's a lot.
Yada yada. Radiation damage.
Mm-hmm.
So we're poring over this information, and I think the captain's first response would be to specifically scan that habitable structure at the center for any life signs.
Okay. So I'll tell you straight up, no roll or momentum required, 0 life signs.
So that's either good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the sake of the stream, though, maybe you should explain about the habitable area.
So at the center of the mass and rotation of this skyhook setup is this habitable structure that looks like, we're sort of eyeballing it, and I think we have a general idea of the structure of the thing, maybe not something as detailed as schematics, but we have a notion of it. It could probably hold up to about 300 personnel, and there's a shuttle bay that could generally store about 6 average-sized shuttlecraft. But the design of the skyhook and this habitable area are alien in nature, and in such a way as there doesn't seem to be any particular reference point with respect to like a species' kind of cultural design philosophies or architecture. This is truly alien in the, in the proper sense. So we have an empty habitation area on a skyhook sitting out here next to a purgatory. Is anyone getting, let's say, spooky vibes?
Well,
I would have expected at least a skeleton crew.
Assuming that it's inhabited at all.
Captain, I am reading evidence of radiation damage that could have been, depending on the species, a nuclear weapon or a photon torpedo. It seems to work its way up the ram scoops from the bottom towards the core. And in addition to the radiation, there are also, it looks as if the tubes were perforated by claws, or they're scarring on the exterior hull.
Claws, you said. So animal-like claws, you mean?
That is what it
Like
would
the-
appear.
Right. So, theories. My initial impulse is to say that this structure was attacked by some kind of space fauna, rather, and they might have detonated some kind of radiation weapon to try to fight it off, to eliminate it from destroying the facility.
It's definitely a possibility.
Although, Captain, I would say you're the one who suggested we should avoid speculation.
Fair enough, Doctor. Well, in place of speculation, we should collect some hard data. I know you're fond of that. So, let's ready an away team and let's beam over there towards the habitation area and see if we can get a better idea of what these creatures, these aliens, we're dealing with.
GM, quick thing.
Yeah.
Would this scan indicate that either the hull or the radiation would potentially disrupt a transporter beam?
I would say at the range that Kanath has brought you in, there will be no difficulty on the transporter task, but if the ship has to move further out from where it is currently stationed, there will be difficulty increases for that.
Captain, I would just like to bring up that currently we do not have any issues with the transporters, but if the ship does have to pull away for any reason, it may become a little more difficult. Just so that you're aware.
Right, well, there's a shuttle bay over there. Why don't we skip the issue altogether? We'll get in the craft and fly over there. And Kanath, if you would, as soon as we launch, if you'll pull the Kasumi out by a couple of, kilometers and stay in a holding pattern, that should be fine.
Entering into high orbit.
Thank you.
Captain, before we depart in a shuttlecraft, I want to run a scan of the station. I want to see if I can identify anything that looked like a weapon emplacement before we approach.
Certainly.
All right. Mr. Troll, I would like you to roll me a reason security. The ship will assist you with a sensor security, and I'm going to set the difficulty here to 4 because it's an unknown alien structure, and because you have nothing to compare it to, you're mostly having to make your own sort of judgment calls here.
I would like to give you 3 momentum to roll an extra 2 dice.
Alrighty. Brings your total dice pool to a 4.
And would shipboard tactical systems be a focus?
I give it to you. Yeah. All right, that is 2 successes. I'm gonna need to see a crit from the Kasumi if you are to have any chance of succeeding here.
That's never happening.
No, you just gotta believe. Just
No.
gotta believe.
The Kasumi exists to make us feel bad.
The Kasumi need to roll.
Well, it's whoever wants to do the honors.
I just didn't catch what it needed to roll.
Oh, sorry. It will be a sensors and security.
Okay. Here goes nothing.
All right, disappoint me, ship.
Okay. I mean, 3 successes,
We got
not
something.
quite 4. Tell you what, I will give you a success at cost, but there will be 2 complications on the board.
You also have determination.
You do
We're not
also
gonna
have
need that.
determination. That is a thing.
The complications make it fun.
All right. So you succeed, and you can confirm that there are no weapon emplacements. However, as Barely Informed in chat has pointed out, technically the garbage chute, the ram scoops, all of it can be used as basically a kinetic weapon system. Now, here come the complications. The first complication is that when you commence this sort of tactical scan of the station, what you notice is that it enters into a higher pattern of power consumption, meaning that you've activated some kind of machinery or some kind of thruster, because even before your eyes on the view screen, it's beginning to spin and the ram scoops are starting to dip towards the atmosphere of purgatory below. Now that's complication 1. Complication 2 is that now you're going to have quite the difficulty of task because you're having to fly a shuttle as the thing is rotating, which unfortunately will not be covered by the earlier advantage, but I am remembering that early advantage for later things.
Bridge staff, just an open question. Why is it moving?
The station seemed to have a automated protocols that it would seem our sensors activated.
I see.
Sensors are being temperamental again.
GM, a question about the station and the new readings from its operation. Has there been any alteration in terms of the dilithium particulate matter that we've detected throughout the system, or the radiation readings, as in, is more radiation being produced now that it's in operation?
Yes. So there is... Oh, looks like I think Hex froze. We'll give him a minute. But yeah, so what you're noticing is that the ram scoops, as they begin to scoop into the atmosphere, they are basically pulling out particulate dilithium and are otherwise bringing it up the ram scoops and into the station proper. And some, I don't want to call it a waste chute on the station, but it's basically like a glorified capsule. every once in a while there's an emission of particulate that might explain the ring you're seeing around the star.
A reflection of its orbit.
Correct.
Okay. And the radiation itself remains
The
constant?
radiation itself seems to be manageable. As long as you all take an appropriate medical injection before going over, should be fine.
Well, Captain, there doesn't seem to be any alteration in the radiation field. It does seem to be the result of a weapon, perhaps, if that is the speculation we're going to embrace. However, if any away team is going to go over there, we're going to need some hyronolin injections in order to avoid radiation poisoning. And I would also recommend taking a large store of it with us in case of emergency.
Right, well, let's coordinate with Dr. L and make sure that happens. Right, let's muster in the shuttle bay and get this thing done.
All right. So for my sake and for the stream's sake, are we going to stick with the standard away team of Kaya, Troll, Nabok, Shrev, and then who are you bringing as your pilot, if anybody?
That would probably be me.
Okay, so Troll will be flying. Do you want to bring any supporting characters then? Sareed, Rel, somebody else?
Because of the medical issue, let's bring Rel along.
Bring Rel?
He might,
All right.
yeah, he might be helpful.
Alrighty. So, what we see then is after you all receive kind of a quick montage of, God, I can't remember the name of the stupid thing. The thing that actually applies hypospray. God, why can't I remember hypospray?
Cisco.
You get no, we're not going to go to the thongs.
Where's the pole? I don't see the pole.
I've been busy. Anyways, as you all get hypo sprays of your hyronolin injections, Rel accompanies you all to your shuttle, and we sort of go to an exterior shot as the shuttle leaves the aft bay of the Kasumi and begins flying towards the mobile skyhook. Now, as you did tell a certain pilot to move away, the Kasumi is going to back off, not only for its own safety, but for yours as well, because it really does not want to collide with the moving skyhook. However, Mr. Troll, you have a very important role ahead of you. I need you to roll me a daring and a con, difficulty of 3, and the shuttlecraft will assist you with its engines con. If you have anything related to small craft, anything related to helm operation, yep, that would apply. All right, looks like the shuttle has gotten you an assist.
I would like to use 1 momentum for a third die.
Okay.
I'll allow it.
And unfortunately, with no successes, that 1 success from the shuttle means absolutely nothing. Do you wish to determination this, or would you like some complications?
I'm going to determine the determination.
Okay.
To reroll.
All right, what value are we tapping?
Yesterday is the reason for today. I did this scan just a little while ago and set this in motion.
Okay, I'll give it to you. In before more complications, because apparently that's the kind of night we're having.
Just wait for it.
Okay.
See?
Well,
See?
all right, so you
we
get
got
4
this.
successes, which means you get your momentum back, but there is a complication, and I know exactly what I want the complication to be.
We're going to have a performance review.
Apparently.
So at this point, the skyhook was kind of perpendicular to the planet's surface, but now it's kind of at a 45-degree angle as the scoop goes closer and closer to the atmosphere. So you kind of do one of those maneuvers where you sort of rotate the shuttle in such a way that it tries to line up with the station. However, the complication is that at the last possible second as you're touching down in the shuttle bay, there's either a glitch in navigational sensors or with the thrusters, and you quite literally land the shuttle upside down in the shuttle bay. Which means all of you that are not buckled in, which I think is all of you, fall to the floor of the shuttle.
Well, at least we didn't blow a distribution manifold.
Is there any way that we can rotate the... Oh, the blood is in my head. Ugh.
I suffer from headaches regularly, and this is only making it worse. I think I sprained an antenna.
Oh,
Chief, how often are these shuttles maintained?
To my knowledge, they are inspected every time they're supposed to do anything, and regularly at least once every 5 to 6 days.
You may want to speed up the timing on that.
Apparently.
okay. Let's So just a wild idea here. Can we angle one of the impulse jets essentially to flip the bloody thing over?
Well, you could before I spend 2 threat to create the complication that, hey, guess what? Engines are gone. Because it wasn't bad enough already.
For God's sake. All right. So can somebody...
I'm going over to engage the ramp. I know it's going to be upside down.
I was going to say it's more like a hatch at this point, but
Yeah.
there's kind of a hiss of atmosphere, and Rel, after he scanned everyone and confirmed that none of you actually have a concussion, Rel does a very quick scan and doesn't stop you from opening it. But after the atmosphere hisses in and out, you kind of look out, and what you see is I'm trying to think of a good term for this. It's not expansive because it only is going to be able to fit about 6 shuttlecraft in all, but it's still much larger than your shuttle bay that you left from. It is comprised of multitudes of arcs that go from ceiling to floor, and the interesting part is that they are segmented, almost like an insect's leg, where some parts of them are sort of angled more deeply than others. But what you're noticing is that sort of at the tip, right before it goes into the ceiling, there is a light that you can't quite identify. It's not like an LED, or it's not anything like a light bulb. It's just a light that, when you look at it, it doesn't feel right. Like it's just something in your gut that all of you instinctually feel that something is not right about those lights. And the other thing that I'll say is that you do see a platform raised up a little bit higher than the rest of the shuttle bay that seems to lead to a set of double doors. And to get on this raised platform, there are ramps leading from all angles in the shuttle bay. So it's kind of like a docking ramp, if you will.
I think that as everyone notices the lights, Terrell's hand's going to move back towards his phaser. He's going to look over towards the doctor. Are you getting maybe any sort of bio signs around the vicinity of those lights?
I'll take a scan. Or, sorry, were you talking about Dr. Rel or me?
I meant Dr. Rel.
Okay.
Well,
The
doctor, if
actual
you
doctor.
would... Well, that's very rude. Shrev is an actual doctor as well.
Out of character.
I'm taking it in character. Well, Dr. Shrev, would you like to take the lead on this one?
Oh, no, obviously this is not my area of expertise.
Well, congrats.
For
It is
someone-
now your area of expertise. Here you go.
Can someone please get the harness? I can't get it out.
I'll go help the captain out of her seat.
Rel is going to hand Shrev the medical tricorder, because I think it's more interesting if you do the roll than I do the roll. So, Shrev, if you want to roll me a Reason Medicine difficulty of 1 to scan those lights for any life forms.
Since my medicine is terrible, I am going to use augmented ability reason.
Fair enough.
For 1 free success. And we'll see how many complications I generate here.
I'm expecting at least 2.
Hundreds.
Would my public speaking focus apply?
No, but nice.
There we go.
They did it again.
But I do succeed with augmented ability reason, so
Oh my god. All right. So, good news, bad news. The good news, no life signs around those lights, but bad news, your medical tricorder breaks. And Dr. Rel looks at you and goes, Doctor, how? I've had that tricorder for 5 years. It's never broken on me. How did you? What?
I
know. I don't blame you. I mean, I saw you push the same buttons I would, but it. Are you not good with technology? Do you have like a thing, like a field around you, like an unlucky field about technology?
I don't think you've ever seen anything like this happen before.
No, I'm purely trying to make something up to deal with the fact that my precious tricorder is ruined.
You have some kind of emotional attachment to the tricorder?
Long story short, I may have taken it from my dead wife's corpse on a ship that got destroyed. Sorry, I know that's kind of heavy.
And Shrev will turn back into the shuttle. Chief, could you come out here, please? I think we need your help more than the captain.
One moment, I've almost got the captain out of her harness.
All right, yeah, you have to get.
And he froze at another opportune moment. There you go. You can't time this humor, people. You really can't. So we'll say that you get Kaya out as we get Hex back on the line. But yeah, Nabak, I believe you have the moment to step out of the shuttle.
All right, I step out of the shuttle. Yes, Doctor.
And very gingerly, Shrev is going to hold out the tricorder in both hands.
Is there something wrong?
Yes, could you take a look at this? It seems to be some kind of precious memento for the doctor, and I don't even know what to say. I'm sorry, Doctor.
These things happen. Don't trouble yourself too much, Doctor. I'll take a look.
Yeah.
So, Nabak, if you want to give me... I'm going to give you a softball here, which I'm sure we're still going to see complications on.
Probably.
In Insight and Engineering, please. Difficulty of 0. So, free momentum. Just don't roll complications. You have one job. Don't complications.
We're having a fire sale.
Help.
Computers would help you, yes.
Okay.
You got a
Swear to
compliment.
God.
Look under your seats.
Okay. There we go. 2 successes. We're good. All right. So, actually, it's not that bad. What you're able to do is you just sort of reroute the power cell. There was just a few burnt out circuits, but your skill in engineering, you just swap them out, hand it back, and tricorder's working just fine.
There you go, Doctor.
No, thank you.
See, Doctor, no harm done.
Yeah, I don't blame you, Dr. Shrev. These things happen.
Well, I suppose I appreciate that, Doctor. I don't...
Oh, I'm not the angry type of Bolian. I'm the fun type of Bolian.
I mean, not to be specious, but I didn't realize that there were angry Bolians.
Well, and he kind of looks past you all at the captain, and this is where the complication is going to be, because apparently Hex isn't being screwed with enough tonight by Comcast. So, Captain, I'm actually going to pose a difficulty on you that any fitness-related tasks, and this is the complication the chat gave you, any fitness-related tasks will be at a higher difficulty.
Sure, why not?
Mm-hmm. But otherwise, your cane still works, your legs kind of still work, so you got
One
that
of them
going
does.
for you. Yeah, I was going to say one does.
I guess the captain will hobble out of the back of the shuttlecraft, her hair all a tussle.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just having a bloody meeting out here, huh? While I'm hanging upside down from a harness. That's fine. It's not like I'm the senior ranking officer or anything.
I did come back to get you.
Yeah, you took your bloody time, Chief. You basically sauntered. All right, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm snapping a little because there's a lot of blood in my cranium at the moment. It's not comfortable. Now then, what's wrong with those lights? They're giving me the creeps.
I've taken some preliminary scans, Captain, but I haven't really been able to find anything. I'm sorry.
Right. Well, I suppose suppose we should move further into the facility then, if we can't get any more readings here. And maybe we'll find something to jimmy this shuttlecraft back over.
Hopefully, yes.
Maybe there's a if we've got a skyhook outside, maybe there's just a very large crowbar in there somewhere.
I'm
Yeah.
just going to throw it out there. You are technically at 5 momentum by my count. You could spend the 2 momentum for an advantage.
Create a giant crowbar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would say this is a docking bay, so they would probably have some kind of mechanical contrivance or system in place to maneuver shuttlecraft without having to activate them and pilot
A
them through the
maglift
bay.
of some sort.
So, yes.
I mean, if you want to spend the 2 momentum to make that advantage, we can make it happen.
Well, I don't think we necessarily need to spend it now, because it's not like the shuttlecraft is, it's not a GTA car where it's slowly exploding on the inside because it's turned upside down. It'll be fine for now.
Everybody knock on wood. Everybody just, find a piece of wood, knock on it.
Okay, well, the captain just sort of finds the nearest kind of door to the next chamber, essentially, and
All right.
makes her way towards it.
All right.
And I'll just say that Dr. Shrev is going to be taking up the rear, but as the rest of the crew is moving ahead quite slowly because of the captain's impairment, she's going to take a quick look back at the shuttle, somewhat pensively, take the Type 1 phaser out of her belt, weigh it in her hand carefully, and then duck back into the shuttle, and when she emerges, she no longer has it in hand.
Putting it away. Or hiding it again, one of the two. We'll leave it a mystery. All right, so I've actually arranged...
Or eating it.
There you go. So I've arranged you all in approximate marching order. Is this more or less how you guys want to go?
Yeah,
I think so.
That's fine.
I imagine Toral would be closer to my flank. You know what I mean? Like we would be walking sort of
So side by side.
kind of yeah.
And Thrall would have his Type 2 in hand just in case it was needed suddenly.
Fair enough. All right. So, as you proceed up the docking ramp and you go towards the double doors, they sort of hiss, and then the locking mechanism spins 360 degrees, and then it opens up like your standard sort of silo doors that sort of supersede into the walls. And what you see on the other side is a control room. Now, much like the shuttle bay, it's just a large, expansive space where you could fit a lot of people and a lot of goods in here. But this control room looks to be a hybrid between, say, a station, like a typical Federation station sort of control room, like flight control, ops, whatever you want to call it, and a cargo bay. So you're not only seeing a bunch of sort of recesses in the ground where there's control panels and things of that nature, but you're also seeing rows upon rows of different containers that all bear an alien script that the Universal Translator is having 0 luck scanning.
Could I take a look at it using my focus of linguistics?
You may certainly do so. Why don't you roll me a... Let's do a control and a science, I think, for this one. And the difficulty on this will be a 3. You do have 5 momentum.
Can I use a momentum to use another die?
Yes.
Go for it.
But if you buy a complication, so help me God.
I mean, I didn't get a complication.
I wish you did.
Nothing to show for.
I think unless you want 3 complications, I think you're just going to have to fail this one.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, Nabak, you apply your knowledge of linguistics and your knowledge of engineering in the Universal Tricorder, and you can confirm that that is alien text that you cannot read.
Apparently my linguistics usage at home didn't really pay off.
I think, GM, I think I know what's happening here.
Mhm.
So what you've done is you've set us up as the pilot crew, but the actual show hasn't been picked up yet. So we'll be replaced by competent, charming crew members, right? And we'll just be the locked in the pilot. We're in the cage right now.
Hmm.
I see. Okay.
Glad we're on
Duly
the
noted.
same page.
All right. Yeah.
Mike, two
Yes.
questions about the room that we're in.
Yes.
The bizarre, sort of abnormal, eerie illumination, is that progressing into this room as well on the ceiling?
Yep.
And the controls and consoles themselves, is there any indication of the kind of entities that would use them? I mean, are they at a like roughly humanoid height, shape, orientation? Is there anything that I could extrapolate from them about the species that might use this space?
Sounds like an excellent roll. Why don't you do a reason science or a reason medicine? Difficulty of 1.
Let's get some more complications here.
Yeah, I was about to say, let's just assume there's going to be a complication.
Or just nothing.
Let's start from there.
And I'll give you a momentum to roll 3 dice because that's more opportunity for complications.
Do you want to use reason, your augmented reason? Because it does make the complication range larger.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. Okay, let me check the 0. That could be a complication. It is. Yay.
Great. Super.
I'm not doing this. I have no control of the RNG. This is all them. I'm doing nothing.
So have we superseded groundskeeper's luck now?
At this point, yes. At this point, you guys, this is new territory.
You're welcome.
So the good news is you do get your momentum back, but here's what's going to happen to you specifically, Shrev. Everybody else, you're not going to be privy to this information unless Dr. Shrev communicates it, but Shrev's going to have a problem here in a moment. So Shrev, as you're looking at the architecture, as you're looking at the way the consoles are laid out, you're looking at the ways the buttons on the consoles are sort of fashioned and shaped, what you come to realize is that you're looking at your standard humanoid in a way, meaning that maybe something between 5 foot or 7 foot, or what is that in meters? Something between like 1.5 meters and 2.5 meters, somewhere in that range. I think I'm grossly off mark, but you get the idea. It's one of those things where they would appear to have anywhere between 2 to 4 arms, based on, again, the button layouts and things of that nature. Probably have the one head because most of the information is displayed in central area, like it's not requiring multiple focuses on a screen. You're also noticing that there are these strange, like, almost access ports that you would find on a TOS vessel, like when you would do optical cabling. You find those next to each of the buttons, and it's very small. You would have missed them at first, but as you sort of get closer to one of the consoles, you do notice these optical connection ports. Now, the complication is going to be that Shrev, those lights are now really, really freaking you out. And I'm going to say that for the rest of this scene, or until you are off of this station, you have an increased complication range of +1 because you're starting to feel really unnerved.
Captain, I have been able to... I think that whoever was using the station was humanoid. I can't tell you much more than that.
Doctor, are you all right?
About to say the same thing.
I suppose. I mean, why wouldn't I be?
There's no room right now for you to compartmentalize or push anything down. If you're feeling something, go ahead and say it.
It might be an effect of my telepathy, the lighting. Maybe it's just my inexperience, but I'm not in a good place right now, I suppose.
I think the captain will intuit that Dr. Shrev is referring to, like, the lights, which are creeping everyone else out. I think that's fair to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then turn to Dr. Rell. Dr. Rell, is there any way that we can determine if those illuminations, I'm not even sure if we can call them lights properly, are sending out any kind of beta waves or radiation or anything of that nature that could be causing Dr. Sherev's...
unease. I understand what you're asking, Captain.
Right,
Give me a
yeah.
moment. And as he moves his tricorder over the lights and tries to get a better reading, I'm actually going to spend 2 threat here that instantaneously, both in this room and the shuttle bay behind you, all the lights turn red. Now, they just turn red. They don't sound any alarms. They don't creep you out anymore other than you feel is appropriate. But all the lights sort of slowly shift to a red.
That's not
Comforting.
exactly.
I hope this species doesn't have the same notion of red alert that we do. Otherwise, this is a problem.
See, there doesn't seem to be any alert klaxon sounding. So it may very well just be a shift in ambience.
And actually,
Any
at
of
this
the,
moment, if I may interject real quick,
No.
Captain Kaya, you are getting a garbled transmission on your comm badge. It's kind of a, come in, Captain. Are you there, Cap? And it cuts out every so often.
Captain Kasumi?
This is Sareed. Everything all right? Pattern communication breakdown.
Acknowledged, Sarid. We're fine for now. Stand by.
Skyhook impacting surface, scooping atmosphere, and then the transmission goes dead.
Damn it. Did you catch any of that? Something about the skyhook affecting the surface?
The skyhook has likely made contact with the planet's atmosphere. And perhaps there's some protocol that has now been engaged or something else entirely.
Right, the lights, yes.
Captain, I hesitate to make this suggestion, but if communications are down, I might be able to use my telepathy to reach out to the first officer. Perhaps maybe I can learn something if I can communicate with her that way.
Certainly, Dr. Sharif. Give it a shot.
I hesitated to raise the issue, Captain, because it would be a violation of her mental integrity.
I understand your concerns, Doctor, but operational efficiency and security, I think, steps over those bounds just a little bit. Besides, it's not like you're going to, eat her brain.
No, Captain, but it's a matter of both personal and cultural ethics. We don't...
All right. Well, I'll have you fill out a form when you get back.
Fine. And Shrev, with her antennae firmly plastered to her head, is going to turn to Dr. Rel. Doctor, if you could monitor my neurocortical readings and have a neurosuppressant on hand, if something goes wrong, you should be able to
worry.
Block out my telepathy. Exactly.
Also, just to maybe lighten the mood a little bit, I'm just going to point out that the Arachne have 2 extra lobes of the brain. They have 4, so kind of hard to mess with them. Kind of, you should be fine. This should be just like having a conversation.
Oh yeah, for a crew that doesn't gain complications by the second, yeah.
Listen, that's all you. I have no effect on any of it.
Is it? I don't think it's us. I think it's you. I think you have stealth edited this character sheet to make these things happen.
Hey.
And once again, let me point out, I am being gaslit, and you're telling me that it's my fault, that it's us, when it's actually you. I played this game.
So,
I know this. Sorry.
What we're supposed to take from this is that the lights are inflicting paranoia on you.
Yes.
They're doing a good
Okay.
job.
Masterful role playing, well delivered. It's actually method acting. It's seeping out into your real life.
We have
You're
red
becoming the
clearance. Oh, I know what's happening. We are shifting into an actual game of paranoia right now. We are in red clearance. We have 6 clones remaining. Yeah, this is not my first rodeo, okay?
Just for that, I'm changing the light to orange. It's still red in character, but I'm just putting orange on the screen to mess with Hex. Anyway. Shrev, let's do I'm trying to think what would be a good role for you here. Why don't you do a control or a daring plus command? Because I think your command's better than your medicine.
And what would be the difficulty there?
I'm going to give this one a 2, simply because you're communicating with Sareed, and Sareed, again, has 4 lobes of the brain, so they're slightly psychic, sensitive, so should be easier.
He said before the complications. I will spend 1 momentum to roll 3 dice.
Okay.
And since Shrev did
How?
ask...
How?
What?
What?
Oh, yeah, I was looking at the wrong roll.
Go ahead, Terrell. What else?
Yeah, what you got?
How much worse can it be?
Since Shrev did ask Dr. Rel to keep watch, would Rel be able to roll an assist?
Yes, Rel may roll a control in medicine assist.
He will trip and inject the neurosuppressant directly into her eyeball. It'll be horrible.
Well, I don't need those because I also have, telepathic senses and
That is true.
my ocular implants. So
If the neurosuppressant is activated, would you then?
So would any of Rel's focuses apply on this one?
He should have at least one.
Xenobiology,
Does Dr. Rel have a focus in
therapeutics.
competence?
Yeah, he does. He actually is a very good doctor. He's rolling a total of 16 here. So, yeah, he has a focus. Okay. I would say he has multiple focuses that apply here.
I'm done rolling.
What is going on?
oh my.
This is our graveyard. This is where the series ends, unfortunately.
Well, it was
We're all
nice knowing
doomed.
everyone.
Yeah, it was nice playing everybody.
I'm at a loss for words.
We're freaking haunted by the spirit of the geese.
Okay, so I'll let you succeed at cost, but we're talking 3 complications instead of 2.
You know what? No, let's just go with a 2.
Okay. First complication. When you reach out with your mind, you get even more paranoid. You're now at a +2 to your complication range. Second complication, from Rel's side, is Rel, well, as much as it sucks to be Rel, his tricorder breaks again.
Oh, I figured that was going to be what it was.
I'm sorry, Captain. I don't know if it's the lights or interference or something. There might be some kind of presence on the station. I can't get through. I can't detect anyone. I can't see anyone on the Kasumi.
It's fine, Doctor. I'm sure they're all right. Just calm down and let's take this one thing at a time. Concentrate on your breathing. All right. Is there anything in this room that we can control, that we understand? I understand the symbols are different, but let's use out of the box thinking. What looks like a power system? What looks like operational controls? Just based on traditional humanoid uses, right? Is there anything we can do?
Let's take a look. So I would like to look for anything that I recognize, preferably a engineering console.
Okay. So I'm actually going to let you guys, you get one assist here, so one of you can assist one of the others. This could be an insight command if you're looking for a command console, an insight con if you're looking for helm control, insight engineering if you're looking for engineering, etc., etc., etc.
I will assist.
You'll assist? Okay.
Does anyone have a preference as to which console we're looking for? I was thinking engineering, but
I mean, let's play to your strengths, right? I mean, you'll know intuitively more things about that than any other console. So,
would my focus on computers help?
It would most definitely help here, but I cannot stop the complications from coming.
Okay, I'm
Sure you can.
sorely tempted to tab.
you can do whatever you want, GM. This is you're in charge of this. You know that.
No, the dice are telling a story. I have no control over the dice.
The dice aren't telling a story. The dice are committing emotional terrorism.
Could I tap a value?
Yes.
To
What
get
you
an
would
extra
value
die.
Well, if you want to, it would give you an automatic 2 successes if you use your determination that way.
Yeah, I'm going to use my value. The crew protects its own, because this is starting to freak me out that the crew is that we're going to be in danger here.
Okay. And the difficulty, which I don't think I said already, difficulty will just be a 3 here. So you need just 1 success on your roll or Kaya's roll. That's all you need, just 1 success. Okay, this is good. This is good. We have gone from complications to crits. So we're looking at 5 successes right now. Kaya, can you not roll a complication, please?
Can I choose not to assist now?
Nope, you said it. You got to roll.
Okay, all right, fine. So what am I rolling? Insight and command, maybe?
You got it.
Okay.
And this
All
is also a
right.
good thing because it could give you more momentum.
That is true. How much momentum do we currently have?
You're at
We're
cap.
full up, and we have 4 floating.
Okay. 4 floating, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I will use 3 of the 4 floating.
Well, you're assisting, so you only get the 1 die.
Ah, yes, that's right. Okay, so 1d20. Would composure help here as a focus?
I think it would. You're basically trying to calm the others down.
Okay.
There you go. Now you have 5 floating. So you might want to use that for information or
that was my
advantages, but let me tell you what you get with your base success. So, Nabak, when you're looking at the consoles, you're kind of going from pit to pit, looking at the consoles, trying to figure out, what is something you can look at. And based on your knowledge of engineering, which is somehow greater than your knowledge of linguistics, maybe I said that the wrong way, but anyway, my point is that you find 2 consoles that are interesting. One looks to be the reactor controls, and the reason you think that is because you're noticing a bar that goes up and down that is sort of paired with a circular pulsating symbol that usually would tend to indicate some form of cyclical nature of electricity. The other console you find is what you're guessing is a diagram of the skyhook as it's sort of rotating down to a sphere, and this sort of symbol keeps rotating up towards or up from the surface of the planet. So you think you found the skyhook controls, and you think you found the reactor controls.
And I believe I have found reactor and command control panels.
Excellent. Is there any way to determine exactly what the skyhook is doing to the atmosphere? And if it's untoward, is there any way that we can pause or shut down the reactor?
Well, you can give me one of your floating
I want
momentum.
to ask those questions.
Okay.
Yes. Burn those momentum, please.
All right, so that's 1 momentum burn. You're now at 4 floating. To answer your question, the ram scoop is literally just doing its job. It's scooping up atmosphere of the purgatory planet below, and it's bringing it up the long shaft that connects the ram scoop to the station. And actually, I'll give this to you free, as you're going through all this, you actually kind of all hear a noise, kind of a rumbling. And then coming out of the wall, high in the ceiling to your upper left of the room, a series of containers begin to travel along tracks that were previously unseen. And they begin to lower onto various places on the racks of cargo containers. So it looks like the ram scoop is actively bringing up good material.
What is it all for?
It depends on the composition of what is below where it's scooping. It could, some sort of could be metals. It could be simply.
It's hydrogen and helium, if I remember correctly. And then
Was it?
And
you can
from her place where she's sort of pacing back and forth, her skin glistening white with sweat, Dr. Shrev will holler over to them. There are also particulate matters. There's chemosite, there's dilithium. They might be harvesting that. That's not really important right now. What's important is getting off this station. The power systems may be interfering with communications, transporters. Is there anything that you can do to, I don't know, deactivate it?
We could try.
And mechanically, that's my suggestion, that perhaps we can create an advantage to disrupt the power systems in some way that would enable communication.
Okay.
And that's, I'm putting that to the group. I'm not saying that's necessarily what we have to do, but
I think that might not be a bad idea.
Sounds good to me.
well, let's perhaps the advantage is that we have the ability to we create a switch essentially where we can turn it on or off rather than making it permanently one way or the other.
Yeah. I'd be fine with your spending 2 floating momentum to make that advantage. So, Nabok, you do the engineering thing and you kind of tap a few buttons and figure out the basic controls. Because, again, you're a competent Starfleet officer, even though the dice tell you you're not. So you sort of tap at the screen, you figure out what button does what, and as you enter in the controls to pause operations, what happens is the station symbol begins to sort of reverse and otherwise pull away from the atmosphere of the planet. And the moment the symbol, the lower symbol that represents the ram scoop, leaves the atmosphere of the planet, the lighting that was previously red is going to turn to a nice calm blue at this point.
Well, it's certainly calmer in here.
That must mean it's their sort of, I wouldn't say red alert, although that was the color, but an
Perhaps
equivalent of a yellow alert, perhaps.
Or an indication of what phase of mining they're in.
That's probably astute, Terrell. Yeah, that's my thinking as well. But why are they mining for these materials? Why do we have a name for this planet already? And where are the miners?
And at this, I think Rel kind of coughs as he looks over at Shrev for a moment and goes, Captain, I'm just going to throw this out there. Why don't we crack one of these barrels or cargo containers open and see what's inside?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was my understanding was that it was high up in the room so that we couldn't.
Oh, no. This is like floor level, like think Indiana Jones levels.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So there's rows upon rows that do go to the ceiling, but it's accessible from the floor.
Okay. Well, I would have made that suggestion sooner than if I'd known. Okay.
Miscommunication on my part.
Absolutely, Doctor. Yeah. Let's take a look inside.
All right. Troll, you got any particular containers you like? I like that one over there.
Huh? That's as good as any. Before we crack it open, can we see if we can get any readings, if there's any excessive radiation coming from them?
If you give me the 2 floating momentum you still have, I will say the advantage can be created.
Go ahead and have the 2.
All right. So the good news is that once Nabok fixes Rel's tricorder again, and between Rel's medical tricorder and Troll's own tricorder, you are able to tell that inside there does appear to be particulate dilithium. But there's also a liquid that doesn't seem to correlate with any known chemical composition that is on record.
It's 4 Loco.
And I think Rel's going to look at you, Troll, and he says, are you seeing this, Lieutenant Commander?
I'm seeing something. I'm not sure what it is, though.
Let's, And Rel kind of, he was kind of that jovial bully and trying to lighten the mood. I think he noticeably gets serious. The lines on his face sort of increase, and he says, Captain, everybody else, why don't you all step back and I'll open it and I'll do my best to maintain quarantine procedures.
Roger that, Doctor. Be careful.
All right. So, as Dr. Rel goes to open the container, he kind of fumbles at the latch very carefully, with shaking hands. And right as he pops the lid open, we're going to go to break for 5 to 10 minutes. So we'll be back shortly. Stick around. Welcome back, everybody. If you're just tuning in, you've missed 7 complications. That apparently beats out Groundskeeper's records. And the session's only half over. On a more serious note, the players have discovered a skyhook above a planet which had never been before scanned or otherwise observed by the Federation, but mysteriously has the name of Purgatory in the computer database. And the players have decided to go aboard a structure in orbit of this planet. A skyhook, basically a structure that scoops out atmosphere of the planet below and brings it into the station and or ejects it into space. Now, the players have been paranoid and sort of uneasy in general, but where we left off, we have the Doctor, Lieutenant Commander Rel, opening one of the cargo containers to see what's inside visually. So as he opens up this container, there's a sort of a subtle hiss, and then he pulls the spiraling iris back and looks inside the barrel. And then he reaches inside very carefully, pulls out a smaller canister that has a transparent strip set at about 120 degrees on the exterior of the cylinder. So it's regularly spaced. There's 3 of them. And he sort of shows it to you all and says, looks like we've got a oil blood mixture of some sort, or at least it's oil that's colored dark umber, dark red. Don't want to touch it or anything, but it seems this container should be safe to move it. What else we have in here? And he looks back in the barrel. There's various chunks of dilithium in here. Don't really know if it's any good. That would be probably a box call, but I think it would behoove me to do some tests on this liquid here, but I'd need to do it back on the Kasumi. There's no way I'm doing it in the shuttle.
Fair enough. I would like to take a look at the dilithium.
All right.
To see
So,
what it is.
Nabok, what I would say, without needing a roll here, because you're capped on momentum, I would say that this dilithium is extremely high quality. Like, dilithium mines are nice and all, but we're talking something on the level that if this were the TNG era, they would be using for the top of the line, the ship that must go the fastest kind of dilithium.
Well, this is I'm not entirely sure how to describe it. It's enriched dilithium. It's the purest I've ever seen. I'm not entirely sure how to process this exactly, but
Is that
the
even
reaction that it would
possible?
cause is fantastic.
Is
I'm
that
sorry?
even possible this far out?
I mean, each planet has its own unique properties. It's possible, but improbable.
All right, it's clear that we need to rejoin our crew on the Kasumi, get some readings done on this liquid material, and do a decontamination sweep of ourselves and the shuttlecraft, just in case. All in favor of returning to the ship?
Aye.
Eh?
Yes.
Something's bothering me.
I think something's bothering all of us, Lieutenant Commander, and That something will probably end the moment we get off this station.
Doctor, please. Terrell, voice your concerns.
Our database has a name for this planet. This highly refined dilithium is being mined from the planet. I feel like somebody has been here before. Either the Federation has made contact, or whoever was here has made contact with the Federation. I'm wondering if we can access any computer systems and see if there are any historical logs that they have about such.
It's worth an attempt.
All right. It's the last thing we do before we leave. Let's try to get into the log system, or the library system, if you will, if there is one, and see if we can get some records.
Right. Chief, would you assist me on this? You've already accessed the systems.
Oh, certainly.
All right.
And then the captain, I will move over towards Dr. Sharev and have I'll guide her by the shoulder and have a private conversation away from the others.
Okay. You can have that now as I figure out what I'm going to have them roll.
Doctor, you need to tell me right now if you are in some way compromised by the circumstances of this mission.
I don't know.
That's a good answer. It's an honest answer.
I'm going to be honest with you again, Captain. I've never been in this kind of situation. The closest I've ever come to one of these away missions was our experience on that last away mission, actually.
H3M9, right.
Yes, I should be able to remember that.
You've got a lot on your mind. It's fine. I can't pretend to understand precisely what you're going through now, but I have some idea. You've got to remember, I've been in some particularly difficult situations, and the captain will sort of with her cane tap the bum leg, right? I know what it's like to feel this anxiety, this crushing sense that everything around you is not quite working correctly, that everything around you is a little bit encroaching on you, to feel that you're helpless or impotent in some way. I absolutely understand that. I've went through that, and I'm on the other side. And you will be too, as long as you focus on the here and now, think about your breathing, and remember that these people around you are here to help you, here to get you back to where you'll be at your best.
And at that, Shrev is actually going to put her fingers to the implants, the ocular implants that are still inactive. So she's using her telepathic sense to see the area around her. And with her eyes kind of blank and staring off at the distance, she's going to say, "Trust me, Captain, I know a great deal about that sense of impotence and that feeling that you're blind in the dark. You can't see a way forward, and everything, every sound, everything that you can't see is crushing down on you. There is a way out of that. It does end, and I appreciate you reminding me of that."
Of course, Doctor. Anytime. You're part of my crew. We're a family here. And it's important that we look after our own.
And you'll see that when you mention family, she flinches and then suppresses it and nods. Of course, Captain.
Right, where are we on the library? Huh? Let's get the hell off this rock.
All right.
as they see.
So, Troll and Nabok. So, Troll, you're going to be rolling me a controller daring plus security. Nabok, you're going to be rolling me the same attribute he picks. So if he picks control, you're using control. If he's using daring, you're using daring. Yours is going to be engineering, though, instead of security. The difficulty on this is a 5.
And I'm assisting, right? So just the one.
If that's how Troll wants to do it, yep.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
I am going to use control.
My focus in computers
Would
help
still
here.
apply.
The complication range is 1 to 20.
I wish.
I do not have any values that I can use
Okay,
right now.
hey, there's a crit. We're already on the board with a
Alright.
crit. This is
6
good.
momentum.
You do have 6
Every-
momentum. Yeah, you might want to spend.
Spend all of them.
Yeah, if that's okay with everyone, I'm going to
Yeah,
use all
do
of
it.
them.
Yes.
All of them.
What can go wrong? 6 complications. But yes.
Everything's coming up, Kasumi.
And investigation focus.
Oh yeah. How?
Yep.
What is? That is complication number 8. Everybody, we're on complication 8. Fucking yay! Oh my god. I'm so
But I
sad I don't
succeeded.
have my soundboard up. I would have done the confetti noise. Oh my lord.
Look, just blow the skyhook up. Like we've accrued. Like, is there an upper limit where we'll hit the number of complications where just the planet will explode, or like surely we're heading towards that?
I can't say anything one way or the other, but what I can tell you is you do have 6 successes, which is a success with a momentum. So I'm going to say that, Troll, you do get a download of something that you can run through the Kasumi's computer, but we're talking maybe about 10 gigaquads of data, which is, I know, a made-up term, but it's a significant amount of data. Now, the complication is going to be, unfortunately, the lighting is going to turn back to red as the skyhook begins once again scooping and processing the matter of the atmosphere of this planet below. Which also does mean that the station is rotating again, and we all saw how that worked last time.
I have data. We can try and decipher it when we get back to the ship.
Right. Let's get the hell out of here.
Aye.
And I think Lieutenant
Bach,
Commander Well speaks up real quick. Sorry, Captain,
Okay.
how are we flipping the
yes.
shuttle?
That's exactly what I was about to discuss with my chief. Nabak, I'm going to need you to find. There's usually some kind of articulated arm or some kind of machinery that we can use to flip the ship.
I'm on it.
All right. Nabak, how do you feel about a insight and engineering difficulty of 1?
Difficulty of 1 sounds good.
I mean, I believe.
Would starship construction help at all?
Actually, in this case, it would. I think it would.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I guess you'd use those kind of arms in construction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In before number 9?
No, but you got 2 successes, so you do get 1
Oh,
momentum.
All right.
So yeah, Nabak, actually you find that much like those rails that the cargo containers came out of, there are hidden in the ceiling, sort of in recesses, arms that can come down and manipulate things in the shuttle bay.
That's what we're looking for.
And I'll tell you what, I'll even give you the fact you found the controls for them.
Cool. I will attempt to operate it.
All right, very important roll, but not a very difficult one. A control engineering, difficulty of 2. The complication range will be an 18 to 20.
Would my focus still come into effect here?
It still would.
Okay.
You have 2 momentum right now.
Can I use a momentum to roll another die?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. One more thing.
Okay, that's 1 success.
Alright.
Do you wish to use determination on this?
Yes, because I don't think we want to fail this one.
All right. What value are you tapping?
This would be, I think, mistakes are the first step to better solutions, since
Sure.
I have made multiple mistakes this time.
Yeah. And you may reroll as many dice as you wish. Couldn't even include that one success you already have.
I just want to reroll the 2 zeros.
Wouldn't he have to challenge one since he used a determination earlier?
Oh, right. Well,
Oh.
there is one thing the captain can do. As captain, since you are in communication with Nabok, you can just give Captain Kaya's determination to Nabok.
I will do so.
All right. Does Kaya have veteran?
Kaya does not have veteran.
All right, carry on.
So
Because
rerolling
if you did
2.
have veteran, it would basically let you roll a challenge dice, and you could have gotten your determination back.
Nope, just a regular old person.
I tell you what, I'll let it succeed at cost, but the complication, number 9, everybody. Complication number 9 is going to be that as the arms sort of come down, and I'd like to imagine the arms are sort of stylized after like Ghost in the Shell, and I don't mean like new Ghost in the Shell, I mean like the original movie Ghost in the Shell, for those of you that have seen it. So the arms sort of come down. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
When did Ghost in the Shell come out, by the way?
Oh my God, are you
The
really
original
still
one?
on about this?
93, is that?
Oh, no, I see. Okay, so it was 95, right?
Hmm.
So that would have been contemporaneous with the Thong Song, is what you're saying.
Oh my Lord.
Also, where's the poll?
I keep meaning to make this stupid poll, and I keep forgetting. I'll do it eventually.
You
Maybe
know,
I'll
if
do
you
it on
don't-
Twitter.
You know, if you don't, this will continue on to tomorrow, right?
Oh yeah, I know it will.
It's nothing but disappointment just all night. Just complications and being gaslit and no poll.
The complication is that as the spindly arms come down and begin manipulating the shuttle, there's a point where, Nabok, you're carefully controlling, and then your hand slips, maybe because your fingers are just sort of a little sweaty here, a little bit of extra moisture. And what happens is you drop the shuttle.
No.
And I need you, because this is technically your mistake, Nabok. The good news is that the shuttle's going to land right up, so you can still get in it and fly out, conceivably, by the same token. But I am going to need you to roll me 3 challenge dice here to represent how much damage is done to the shuttle.
Okay, now where's the button to do that?
Oh, there's a macro.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Check
if you
the
go
tab
to
next to the jukebox.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, if you just click the in bar button and then the show macro quick bar, you'll have a button to
Okay.
push right below all our names on the left.
Cool. How many am I?
Just 3.
Just 3.
All right. So I think that what's going to do is, let's see, it's a scale 1 vessel. So technically, if it matters, the shuttle will be at 1 shield remaining. But no structural damage, no further engine damage. Good news there.
Yay.
So again, narratively, the shuttle is being manipulated, turned upright, and then clunk onto the ground.
I take
sheepishly
it.
look backwards.
I take it you're going to buff that out, Chief.
Personally.
Great, good to hear. All right, everyone on board.
So as Terrell's walking on, I think we may want to stop taking shuttles to these away missions.
Well, just think if we tried to use the transporters, the same thing that happened to our comm signals would have scrambled our patterns and dispersed the energy across this entire solar system.
Fair
It's
enough.
a great
point.
line of thinking.
Good thing we prevented that, Doctor.
All right,
I don't
well,
know.
Troll,
Mercy.
I believe since you're our pilot, very important role, need you to give me a daring or control plus con, difficulty of 3, complication range 18 to 20. You have 1 momentum right now.
I'm going to give you 1 momentum and 2 threat for 2 dice.
All right. And again, the shuttle will assist with an engine's con. Okay, that's 3 successes. Let me check the zeros. 2 complications, so we have 10 and 11.
Is the
That's right, people. You do not mishear me. That is 11 complications in one game. Hold up. Let me check the shuttle. Ladies and gentlemen, it's still 11. Okay.
Use the shuttle to roll a complication.
So, Troll, you lift the shuttle up off of the deck, and then the world goes crazy because you forgot, or maybe there's some damage to the sensors, however you want to flavor it in your mind. The point being that whatever happens, the shuttle once again flips, lands on its ceiling, and this time you remembered all to buckle up. I'll give that to you free. You remember to buckle up this time. But as Troll, as you're upside down and the captain's probably shouting some expletive, because if the captain's not, Rel is definitely shouting an expletive, you lift up the shuttle once again and reverse it out of the shuttle bay in such a way that you're still upside down, but once you leave the confines of the shuttle bay, the gravity reorients itself and you are now upright, quote unquote. That's complication 1. Complication 2 is that as the shuttlecraft leaves the skyhook, what you notice is that the Kasumi is nowhere to be found.
No.
Or at least you aren't seeing her on sensors.
I think we all would have, at this point, like, I at the very least would have gotten out of my chair and, like, tried to get, like, actual eyeballs on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was going to say, because space is one of those large empty spaces that, unless you're a few clicks away, you're not going to be able to see anything but the darkness. But what I would say is that if you do look behind you, you do see the skyhook continually rotating and going through its process as you leave it behind.
Oh, no.
Oh, and
Where's
look,
the bloody
another
ship?
complication. Thank you, chat. You're getting a hail.
Bring it up.
And I'm not going to turn on a voice modulator for this. I'm also not going to screech into the microphone because it's 11:38 at night and I don't want my neighbors yelling at me. But if you will imagine the most horrific, the most blood-curdling demonic scream, and it goes until you turn off the comms. And after Rel shakes it off and says, Captain, that wasn't from the Kasumi. I think that was, if I'm reading this right, it was from the planet below.
Well, I guess now we know what the name was for.
Wait, Captain, you're not suggesting that we're literally mining purgatory for dilithium made of... I'm not going to finish that thought. Nope.
I'm suggesting, Doctor, that there are more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy.
I don't know the reference, but it sounds very good. Thank you, Captain. Shrev, can you sense anything now?
And Shrev, with her teeth grit, is going to look over the captain and, ignoring the suggestion of employing her telepathy to reach down to the planet, is simply going to say, Captain, if that's meant to be some kind of implication that, I don't know, something supernatural is occurring here, I find that to be highly dubious. Whatever's going on has a rational explanation that can be devised. We just need to think about it properly. I suggest that there is already evidence of some kind of immense spacefaring organism that has possibly attacked this station to go off your initial supposition. If we're going to continue down that line of thinking, perhaps the liquid that we've found is being extracted from it. I think we have stumbled upon something that might be analogous to some kind of ancient Terran whaling operation.
Are you suggesting that the planet is a whale?
Or something on it, a creature that has nested there and is being harvested. The screams could be the creature itself. Given what we just encountered on our most recent away mission, that doesn't seem too fanciful.
And I think, again, Rel gets very serious and says, Captain, as much as I enjoy speculation, I think there's really only one way we're going to be able to determine what this is, and that's going to go into the atmosphere. We need to take the shuttle down.
My thoughts exactly, Doctor. Seeing as how the Kasumi is nowhere to be found, we have no other choice.
Forgive me, Captain, but with the damage the shuttle's already sustained, are we structurally sound to enter the atmosphere?
No structural damage, Commander. We have lower shields. We may need to repair those, but there's no structural damage.
Can we reroute power to the shields from other systems on the shuttlecraft?
Well, can I?
Yeah, you can.
Yes,
Captain. I really must protest to this course of action. This shuttle is not equipped in any way to deal with anything that we might find down on that planet. As we've seen, we couldn't even get out of that docking bay without a disaster. We should return to the Kasumi, assuming we can find it, and then analyze the samples that we have.
Well, Doctor, if you'll point me in the direction of my ship, I'd be glad to move it there.
And at that, Shrev is going to just stalk over to the cabin of the shuttlecraft and attempt some kind of task, if possible, to modulate the sensors to cut through the interference of the mining operation or the radiation, or to attempt to locate the Kasumi.
Go ahead and roll me a daring in science. The shuttle will assist you with a communications in science. Difficulty of 2.
And although I'm not going to leverage it for any mechanical benefits, in this moment, as she has asked to go back to the ship, I think I'm going to challenge the value real research is done in the field.
Okay.
So daring in science?
Daring in science, and I need to see 2 successes here.
I'll give you a threat.
Okay.
Oh,
What is going on?
I'm glad I gave you that threat. Gave us another complication. That's good.
We are literally in hell. We are actually literally in hell.
Number 12,
off
everybody.
the mountain of purgatory.
Yeah, we've gone past. We are now definitely in hell.
It was a difficulty
Well,
3, right? Or was it difficulty
No,
2?
it was difficulty of, yeah. It was difficulty 2, so you do pass. 12 complications. Oh, God.
I would actually like to suggest that we detect the Kasumi. This is my suggestion.
Oh, no,
We
no,
don't
you are
necessarily
going to
take it.
detect the Kasumi. It's just
But-
that I have good news, bad news.
Well, I was thinking that it's like mired in some kind of astrological anomaly or something like that would prevent us from actually returning to the ship.
Oh, no, see, that's the best part. The bad news is you know where the Kasumi is. The bad news, it's in the planet's atmosphere.
Yeah.
But you found it. Congrats.
Well, Doctor, if I'm reading these sensors correctly, we're going to have to go into hell anyway.
I thought we were already there, Captain.
Now who's being theological?
Hmm.
All right, take her in.
Mr.
Make sure those
Troll.
shields hold.
Aye, sir.
Aye, Captain.
Mr. Troll, Mr. Nabak. Troll and Nabak, you all are going to be rolling basically the same thing here. It's just which one you want to put more focus on, the shields or the flying. So you're going to be assisting one another on this task, but who takes the lead, I'll let you guys decide. Troll would be rolling a daring and a con. Nabak would be rolling a control and an engineering.
I don't want to take the lead this time.
And I'll do the control engineering.
And the difficulty on this is just a 2.
Would computers come into effect here?
Not really. If you have power systems, though, I'd give you power systems.
No.
All right, well, we do have a critical success from Troll, so that's promising. Okay, that's 3 successes, which means you get a momentum back. So, as the shuttle dips and flies into the atmosphere of Purgatory, there's just a sea and a wash of hydrogen and helium as the shields sort of buffer and keep the atmosphere out. But interestingly, you break through the cloud layer, which shouldn't even be a thing on a gas giant. That doesn't happen. And when you do, what you see below you is, if you could call it a surface, you're seeing an artificial jungle that's sort of being consumed by a constant oily rain. There's rusting debris that litters these long plains of barbed wire grass that is covered in metallic dust and soot. And baleful lighting arcs between the clouds that reflects off of oceans of glistening blood-red oil, the same oil that is in the canister that Dr. Rel currently holds. Now, what you're also seeing are signs of some intelligence. You're seeing great smokestacks that are vomiting noxious fumes that are being fed by these rusted metallic pipes. There's also flashes of movements on sensors, though nothing long enough to get any concrete readings. But what you do notice, besides all of that, is the Kasumi floating a good distance above the lower cloud level, so in between the quote-unquote atmosphere and the lower cloud level. And floating right above where the bridge is on the Kasumi, there's a figure. And that figure looks a little something like this. And for anybody who knows what this is, don't spoil it, because I don't think any of my players do. Now, for those who can't see the stream or are listening to audio, you're basically looking at a humanoid figure with 4 arms, sort of having a somewhat reptilian, somewhat insectoid outer carapace of sorts, and they are wearing almost like a batleth style headdress of sorts as well. They have sort of dark wings, a long sinewy tail, and are carrying a staff with a ball of light in the middle of it. And it is at this point that you get another hail, this time from the Kasumi.
Bring it up.
Ching it through.
Appearing on the view screen is Sareed. And Sareed says, Captain, I hope you don't mind, but I've kind of taken this one from you.
I'm sorry?
First contact, I mean, sir.
With what?
Well, the Praetor out there is from a alien species known as the Rafix.
Its intentions?
Peaceful, if you'll believe it.
I need to conference with my crew here in the shuttlecraft. I'm going to end the transmission, but I will reach you right back. Is that
We'll be
understood?
here, sir.
Thank you. And she will terminate the communication. She'll turn to face everybody else in the shuttlecraft. Something is very, very wrong here. I don't like to start from a position of fear, of paranoia, aggression, threat. But something about that figure bodes ill. And I don't think that our crew is operating under their right minds.
I tend to agree with you, Captain.
Right. This conversation doesn't leave the shuttlecraft. Understood? When we get on the ship, we will operate as usual, but keep your eyes peeled. And she will turn. Okay, go ahead.
Captain, I hesitate to offer this suggestion, but if you're concerned that the ship may have been compromised in some way, the internal communication systems could have also been subverted. If possible, I might be able to serve as a kind of telepathic relay, if necessary. If there's information that needs to be conveyed between the crew, or the crew that you feel you can trust, we might not have to run afoul of any of our compromised systems. In other words, we can't be overheard if we're not speaking.
Before we get to the ship, if you so desire, I could potentially isolate our comm badges to be able to speak without using the internal systems.
Let's cover all our bases. Let's make it happen. And she will turn and then reestablish just a standard communication with the ship. Come in, Sadid.
I'm here, sir.
Right, well, since this is first contact, we'll have to follow the necessary protocols. I'm not sure how far into the process you've gotten, but we are on our way back to the Kasumi, and, we'll fold you in and take over this diplomatic procedure.
I understand they're interested in a diplomatic dinner of sorts, sir. Should I have the tailor prepare the dress whites?
Yes, that'll be fine. And prepare one of the mess hall suites for a proper service.
Read my mind, Captain.
Right, we're coming in. Captain out.
And I think the final shot of the episode, unless you have something.
She will, again, manually terminate the transmission. And then she will look into this sort of kind of hellish, scape beneath her. And she will quietly say, midway on our life's journey, I found myself in dark woods, the right road lost.
And I think with that, we see the shuttle approaching the Kasumi as the figure, the visitor, the praetor, whatever you want to call them, follows the shuttle into one of the shuttle bays. But that is where we're going to end today's session. This will be a two-parter. 12 complications, everybody. 12 complications.
Yeah.
It's a new record. It's a new record. That's impressive. That's honestly impressive. Hopefully it's still a fun time, but 12.
Fun in the sort of way that you're like, you're a young child and you probably shouldn't be on this roller coaster. It's that idea, right?
I gotcha.
We're trying to get them all out of the way early.
Yeah.
Let
Yeah.
the other sessions go by, no problem.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's nothing but sunshine and rainbows after this. It's all up from here.
Well, we
And a
hope.
hellish landscape.
Yeah, I was saying the
Well,
hellish
yeah, I'm
landscape.
sure. Yeah. That notwithstanding.
All right. Well, this is where I'm going to end the recording for YouTube, but Twitch, stick around because we got to find somebody to raid. But YouTube, 12 complications. See you later, YouTube.